In the opening scene, a man and woman are walking together when the woman asks, "Do you forgive me?" A man is sitting in an apartment and a woman is seen crying in the shower. Eva is taking some kind of home test. They heard a siren and saw a police car. Eva ran to the bedroom and Will helped her get under the bed. Will opened the door and two officers with a face mask got in. They asked him questions and identification. They asked about the people on the lease. He told them Carolyn didn't make it, and Eva went to Britain and never came back. Then they finally cleared him out. As they were leaving, one of the police officers said, "I don't take the sick ones," pointing at the liquid Eva was using to test herself. Eva comes and tells him they need to pack. As they were doing that, Eva was having flashbacks of their life together in the apartment. They got in the car and left. Eva was taking pictures of the streets as they were passing. They reached the supermarket, and Will told her to stay close and they got in. She was wearing men's clothing to disguise herself as a man. They started picking what they wanted, and Eva went to the women's sanitary section. As she was looking, someone came and took her hat off, revealing her hair. Will comes with a gun and tells the guy to get on the ground. They paid for the groceries and they left. Eva dreamt about the first day of the apocalypse. She got up and went to the living room. On the TV, they were talking about a comet sighting. Will is loading his things in his car to move in with Eva. Eva's roommate went out to give them privacy. Will came and they spent the night together. The next day, he made breakfast and gave her two toys that symbolizes two of them on the day they decided to move in together. A bird hit the window and fell to the ground, and they went to the window to see what was happening. They saw a soot falling from the sky. Then Caroline came to the house covered with it. Then she fainted. Eva woke up. Will told her that they would spend the night in a motel and went out of the car, leaving his gun behind. A prostitute came to the car and offered her service, but Eva scared her away with a gun. Will came back and they drove to their room. As they were driving, she saw a guy preparing a gun. In the bathroom, Eva wrapped her breasts with a cloth to cover them. The next morning, they are back on the road. They stopped at a diner, and Will checked the surroundings and came back to the car. He doesn't want to risk it, so he suggests they order a takeaway, but Eva wanted to have her last cooked meal in a restaurant, so they got inside. The waiter brought two menus and they ordered. In the news, the reporter is talking about a new experiment to repopulate using an artificial womb. The project is called the Embryo Project, and it showed some advancements, and the fetus has survived the first trimester. Eva is marking their next destination on a map, and the waiter brought their order. As they were eating their food, two men walked in and asked the waiter to turn the volume up. The reporter was saying the reward for locating live females has increased from 1 million to 2 million. Eva and Will listened as the two men started discussing the news. Then he asked for the bill. Will saw blood streaming from Eva's ear. They panicked and ran out of the diner without paying. The waiter saw that they left and got angry. A guy came and told the waiter he'll take care of the bill. He went to the table and picked the map that they left behind. In the car, Will is talking about her symptoms. Eva got upset and told him to stop the car and got out. She went to the woods and stayed there for a bit. She came back and asked to drive. They arrived at their destination. Eva told him to enjoy her last days, and they went to find the waterfalls. Back to the past, Eva and Will are in the hospital that Caroline is admitted in. While they were in the hospital, more women were coming in. Almost all of them are hemorrhaging. Will thought something must be wrong and took Eva to the house. They started sealing their apartment and Eva called her father. He told her that he got her mother in quarantine. He was giving them instructions on how to seal and clean the apartment. Back to the present, Will and Eva are sitting in a forest. She was taking pictures and he asked why she was taking them. She asked him if he really thinks she is the only woman in the entire world. In their tent, she was undoing the bandage that she used to wrap her breasts. She called him in to help her with it. He helped her take it off and went out crying. Eva wakes up in the past. She sees that will leave a note on what to do with the plastic on the door. She also noticed that there are new things in the apartment. He was boiling water in the kitchen to sterilize it. She asked about the UV lights and he told her that it kills germs and pathogens. Ava's phone rang and he told her to pick it while it was still on the plastic bag, and she picked it up. She got some terrible news and started sobbing. On the news, they were saying that it seems to be infecting only females. Males can be carriers, but none of the carriers showed symptoms. We see them trying to pass the time playing cards and eating canned foods. They heard sirens and sounds, and they made a hiding place in the bed. On the TV, they saw a report that the uninfected women were being held for the embryo project. She started researching about the project, and she saw the experiment being done on women. Will told her it wasn't safe to stand by the window as she was standing there to take photos. She joined a group chat of women who survived. Will saying that she is giving away information. The news keeps reporting about riots and attacks happening around the world against the embryo project, saying it is against God's way. Will starts getting frustrated by Eva not obeying the quarantine rules. This makes them argue constantly. The ash carrying the pathogen is still falling down on Earth. In the present, Eva and Will are hiking, and Eva is making a joke. Later, he gave her alcohol and she started drinking. Will showed her how to shoot. He missed his aim and they laughed about it. Eva shot the target in the first try. As they were doing that, two men from the motel came to where they are using the map they left behind. One of them is the guy that paid their bill. They saw their car and decided to follow them to the wood. They took their guns out and slashed the tire of Will and Eva's car with a knife. Eva and Will are drunk and having fun around their campfire. They got into their tent and Eva suddenly had a seizure. Day 238 of the apocalypse, Will go to a pawn shop to buy a gun. The salesman gave him a shotgun and told him he would lose the bounty if he shot them in the ovaries, thinking he would use it to hunt women. But Will was looking for a handgun and he got that. Will got back and he went through sterilization process they installed in their apartment. Will brought a testing kit and told her he will test himself to see if he is a carrier. He opens it and reads the instructions. It says, if the liquid stays clean, there is no pathogen. If it turns indigo, there is. The liquid turns indigo, and Eve starts crying, and Will tells her he is just a carrier, and he is not sick since the virus only attacks women. Back to the present, Eve wakes up next to Will in their camp. She went to the river to get some water. As she was going back to their tent, she couldn't move and kneeled. Will wakes up, but he couldn't find Eva. He opens the tent, calling her name. He saw the two men holding a shotgun in front of the tent. One of them asked where she was, and Will screamed, telling her not to come back. They tied him to a tree, asking him where she was. Will told them that she is sick and yells after her again. Eva sees what's happening hiding behind a tree. The older man told his son how they should be looking for her. The older man spots Eva and runs towards her. She also ran and he followed after her. She hid in a cave and he lost her. She had a seizure and passed out. In the campsite, the guy is sitting with Will. He asked Will how he kept her safe this long, because he tried to keep his wife safe, but she died after a few weeks. He told him they should find Eva soon, cause the eggs won't last more than 7 hours after death. He told him he only wants to build a better future for his son. In the past, Eva texted in the group chat. Only one member replied, telling her that another member, Erica, was taken. She also said she came to say goodbye because she got a nosebleed that morning, and that's a sign of the sickness. Eva asked her to stay, but she told her to stay strong, and sent her a picture of her holding a paper with a date written on it and left the chat. Eva printed the picture and put it on a wall next to other pictures of women holding a date. In the present, Will is still tied to a tree. The son was in charge of the watchout this time. Eva came to the campsite naked and the son was too distracted. She went to him and held his face and he stared at her. She then suddenly hit him and he fell. She untied Will and they rushed to leave. The older guy woke up and started to call his son. Will picked up the shotgun and shot at the tent and the guy screamed. Day 400 after the virus happened, Will is sitting in the apartment and Eva's phone rang. Will saw that her father had called. He went to his computer to connect a VPN for a safe call, but Eva told him that it might be an emergency cause they talked not to over the phone before. They called and she saw her father bruised, and he told her crying that they took her mother. He tried to stop them, but he couldn't. Eva tried not to say anything, but she finally told her dad that she is okay. Will snatched the phone off her hand, saying that she can't talk through an unsecured line. Eva screamed at him to give her the phone. Will screamed back, saying that if she talks over an unsecured line, they will come and take her like they took her mom. He tried to tell her he is just trying to protect her, but Eva kept crying in frustration. saying she was in prison. She questioned his love for her. He told her that they can survive this cause they made it this far. She picked the gun up and pointed at him, saying that he should leave, and he got out of the house. When Will came back, Eva was outside wearing a suit. He saw her standing on the terrace, then she took the suit off, letting the soot fall all over her. Will came running to stop her, but it was too late. In the present, as they spent her last day by the waterfall, with the date written on her hand, they took a picture together. They embraced the fleeting beauty of their love, a testament to their enduring bond in a world that had tried to tear them apart. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.